Hey guys, Got Level here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up alerts for your Twitch live streams using OBS and Streamlabs. Now, if you've been on Twitch for a bit, you've probably noticed that other streamers have those alerts that pop up on screen to let them know that someone showed support by donating, by following, by subscribing, by hosting, by cheering, and the latest feature, by rating. Now, this is something particularly important. Nothing is more frustrating than going on a small streamer's channel, donating, and have the streamer just not pay attention or not completely ignore you because they don't have an alert. They don't know that you donated. It's very, very frustrating. So make sure you have this set up before you even start your first live stream. So let's jump right into it. We're gonna open up OBS and Streamlabs on Chrome, and we will get started. Okay, now we're on the desktop. First thing you're gonna wanna do is open up your favorite browser. Mine is Chrome, and go to streamlabs.com. Click login to get started. They will ask you to log in with your Twitch channel. Keep in mind that Streamlabs supports YouTube, Mixer, and even Facebook. Log in with your Twitch account. And this will bring you to the dashboard. If you're just starting, this is pretty much empty and we don't need this right now. What you need to focus on is on the left side. There was something called widgets. If it's collapsed like that, just click the plus button and the alert box. It's very important. This is what we're looking for, okay? And now you get on the alert box page, and this is where the magic happens. First thing you will have is the general settings. The general settings is how your alerts will generally look. Can't believe I'm saying that, just repeating. General settings is general settings. Anyways, so you can pick a background color for all of your alerts, but to be honest, with the method we're going to use, it really doesn't matter. The alert delay, the alert moderation delay, and the layout. I prefer having my text over the image when it comes to alerts. So you have this image, it can be a GIF, it can be a video, it can be just a simple picture. I really like having the text on top of it because my alerts are mostly full screen, so 1080p. But you choose whatever you like, and then you click Save Settings. You will have a little notification top right to say that it's updated. This will really come handy when you're setting up your stuff. Always make sure that you have that notification to make sure that your alerts are updated, okay? General settings isn't really that important since we will be going step by step and customizing each and every type of alert. Okay, so the next tab is follows. Of course, when someone clicks follow on your Twitch channel, the alert that will pop up. So we're gonna look around. Follow alerts, enable, disable. You can disable your follow alerts. The layout, as we previously seen on general settings, you have text underneath the image. So you have the image and this text will be separated. Text on top of the image. Well, not on top. Overlaid on the image, which is what I prefer, and then text on the right, image to the left. Here you have alert animation. This will define how the alert will pop up. There's plenty of those. You can just choose. I prefer fade in or just slide in and fade out, but that's for you to tweak around. And then here, message template. This is something you can customize. Mine looks like that because I've customized it, but yours will probably say something in between brackets, name, followed by is following. Name in between brackets is basically the code that will display the name of the person that follows you. So you could put in between brackets, name, and then after that you can type join the train. If you have this little niche thing for your channel, little brand thing, if it's a squad, just join the squad or something, whatever you kids are into these days. So yeah, but you need to keep the name if you want the name of the person to show up, and you really need the name of the person to show up because that's who you're going to be thanking. Text animation, by default, it will probably be like something like bounce. Cool stuff. You have a preview right here, so that's not a problem. And then here we have image. So this is the image that will be displayed if you want any. I think by default you will have a little zombie in the animation, like some sort of GIF of a zombie walking. But if you need to change that, you will click on change media, and you can upload your own files. So GIFs, pictures, I'm guessing JPEG, GIFs, and WebM. This is a format like you're probably not familiar with, but it works pretty well. So just if you have your GIFs downloaded or your PNG downloaded already, you can just drag and drop it in here. It will upload it, and my uploads, you can go to image and you will find, and just click on it and select it. I'm gonna show you an example. Just gonna click on this, and now it shows up. And right underneath it, you have the sound, which is also very important. You need sound because if you're playing full screen on one screen, you need the sound to pop up to let you know that, hey, someone just did something. Same thing here. One thing you will notice is that every file is a .ogg file. It's not a very common file, but for some reason, a browser source like web sources really like to use this file. The good thing with Streamlabs is if you import a .mp3, which is way more common, it will automatically convert it to .ogg. So do not worry about having .ogg file. I know that Twitch, old alert systems used to require you to convert your sounds. You don't need to do that anymore. Just drag and drop an MP3 file. It will take a little bit to convert it, and then boom, you will have your OGG file, and you can just, I don't know, click on it. This is one of my bits alerts. Okay, so I'm gonna click cancel because I don't want to mess up my stuff. Okay, and then you have your sound volume. I have mine at 100%, but depending on your sound system, you will choose what the percentage will be. Then you have alert duration. This is how long you want the alert to stay on screen before it disappears, before it fades out or it animates out pretty much. And then alert text delay is how long before the text actually appear on screen. So if you have a fancy animation before your background image shows up, you might want to put some text delay. Keep in mind that if you put a text delay of 10 seconds and your alert duration is 10 seconds, it's not gonna have enough time, you know? Then enable HTML and CSS. If you're good at HTML and CSS coding, just enable this. It will open up a dialog box with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I am not, so I will keep it like that. And then you can just save settings, just like that. Remember that top right corner? There we go, alert box updated. So now your follow alert is up to date. So if you want to put it into OBS and you want to test it and to make sure that it shows up exactly as you want, you have two options. You could visualize it in a web tab. To do that, you would have to click launch. And as you can see, it will open up a web tab with a green screen. And if you click here, once the widget is open and running, use the button below to queue simple alerts. You can click test follow.
Thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome to Get Level Stream.
Okay, I opened up OBS instead of the thing, but basically you click test follow and
thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome to Get Level Stream.
So this is one of my follow alert sounds. Okay, so it's basics. It's not gonna look the same for you because I do have a little bit of HTML coding for the background. Your text background will be transparent. And as that is normal, as you can see, it's image, text in the bottom, text at the bottom.
Thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome to Get Level Stream.
And of course, mine says is an awesome person. Yours will probably say something like is following, is now following, is now a follower or something. I don't remember what the defaults are, but. And this is how you can test it out. Now, once you've tested it out and you're like, oh, I like this. I like this brownish weird color that the text has. Is it not responding anymore? It doesn't want to.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
For the follow, my friend. Welcome to Get Level Stream.
This is my voice, by the way. I made this. Okay. Now, if you're satisfied with what you have, there are two main techniques to have your alerts show in OBS. The first method is to screen capture that little box, that little green box, and then use chroma key to get rid of the green and have a transparent background. But the problem with this technique is that if you're using separate alerts on separate boxes, you will have a bunch of Chrome tabs open. And we all know that Google Chrome doesn't like your RAM. So it's gonna take a toll on your computer, and you don't want that, especially if you're gaming with the same computer. Also, it can be buggy if your internet connection is bad, like sometimes the alerts are not sent, and it's just opening up your world to a bunch of problems. Plus, if you accidentally resize them, don't use this method anymore. I know I have a tutorial on this channel showing you, but don't do it. What you need to do is use a link, a browser source link. Browser source. I like saying this word. So you can click here. Well, you can click here and copy paste the link, but I'm not going to show you mine. And click copy. And go to your OBS. You guys probably know how to use OBS, but I've set up a brand new scene with nothing in it just so I can show you this thing right here. So now I'm going to click add. So right click in sources, click add, go to browser source, and you can name this alerts or just follow alert, but mostly alerts, because right now I have a link that basically regroups all of my alerts. It will show you that little thing. I like my alerts to be full screen, so I'm gonna put 1080p by, well, 1080p by 1080p. I'm gonna put 1080p, so 1920 by 1080. It looks like this, but do not fear because I messed up. URL, that's where you want to paste your URL. This is what you just copied from Streamlabs. This should disappear, and now it's completely blank because no alerts are going off. I'm gonna close this so I don't have two alerts going off at the same time. I'm gonna click on my Streamlabs, and now I'm going to test it.
Thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome to Get Level Stream.
So it's gonna look a little bit different because of the proportions. Of course, when we were in that little green box, it wasn't 1080p. So play around with it until you find something that satisfies you. And if you want to keep it 800, I think the default is 800 by 600, then it's gonna look very similar to what's in that test box. We're gonna call it test box. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Right now, if you go ahead and set up all of those individually, they will all appear here. I will show you one of mine that I already have set up. The bits donation, for example, I'm going to click test bits.
This is a test bit alert.
Okay, so this is the one link, okay? So now if you want your sources, because right now we have one source that's called alerts. If you want your sources to be different for whatever reason, maybe you want to add a filter, an effect, or you want to have different sizes, what you need to do is basically have one link for each and every different alert. So right now on top of the widget URL here, you will see that all of those boxes are ticked. So follows, subscription, donation, host, bits, raids, redemptions. And if you only want the alerts to show up, so we're gonna untick those boxes and have only follows, sorry. So right now the link that we're gonna copy is only available for follows. So if I double click on my alerts thing and I paste it, so follows equals 1. Right now I'm going to test it. Oh, of course, if you don't click, well, let me go to follow. If you don't click save settings, I think that was the problem. I clicked test and nothing happened. That was weird. Test follows. There we go.
For the follow, my friend. Welcome to Get Level Stream.
Okay, so that alert link, my browser source link, is only for follows right now, which is very different. So if I test bits, nothing will happen because I don't have bits alert on this thing right here. So let's rename it. So right click, rename. I'll call this one, whoops, follow alert. Okay, named appropriately. I'm gonna click add. I'm gonna click browser source, and I'm gonna call this one bits. And I'm gonna keep it 800 by 600. Go back, untick this box, click bits. Now I have my link that's updated. Copy this link, go back to OBS. And go like this, it will disappear. And now we will click save settings just to make sure. I always click save settings. Whatever I do, even if I don't really change anything, just to make sure that everything is in place. Now I'm gonna test bits. And there you go. The bit alert.
Test bit alert.
Always interrupting me. The bit alert is different now. It's on a separate layer, which is awesome. Okay, so now that I've showed you how to import your whole alerts in one source in OBS, and then I showed you how to put them individually, we're just gonna continue and look at the details of every single tab that you have. So subscription, donation, host, bits, rate. So for subscriptions, it's pretty much the exact same thing for the beginning, at least, like for layouts, message template. See, name, just subscribe. You can put something like name is now part of the Slick Daddy Club, or something like that, or the name is now a whatever you call your subs, or something like that. Okay. Same thing here. I have a WebM image. I have my dubstep alert, apparently. I'm not going to click on that. Volume 100%, alert duration, custom, same thing. Now, you have resub messages, which is a feature that you have when someone resubs. And this is where you customize it. So you can show the message, so choose to not show it, allow Twitch emotes inside the sub messages that will be displayed on screen. The font, you can play around with this. Font size, you can play around with this. Okay. And then resub message, text to speech. As an advice, I always encourage to have text to speech for donations, and every time it's available, activate it unless you're getting trolled. But if you're not getting trolled yet, try it out. Test your community, and if they're cool with it and they don't abuse it with racist and sexist or whatever you don't allow on your stream, enable it. Because I've seen people, well, I've donated to people just because they had TTS, which is text to speech. So keep that in mind. That's a tip from my part. Okay, now you have the font settings. So what will appear on screen? Mine, font size, font weight, text, highlight color. I'm sorry. And then you have alert variations. Something that is cool is you can have random alerts. Basically, you can have many alerts, and you can set the frequency that they will appear. So for follows, I really encourage having this. For subscription, depends if you have a lot of subscription or if you really want to. But if you do, if you click add variation, you will basically have another tab with all the same options for your normal alerts, except you can name it. You can choose the condition, which is for subscribers, like at least this number of months subscribed, subscription tier, like, you know, $4.99, $9.99, and $24.99. When subscription is a gift, because you can now gift subscription to people, you can give subs pretty much. And then you have the frequency, very rarely as default, frequently, very frequently. I've tried frequently on a couple of alerts, and they basically show up all the time. So I do not advise it. And you can, of course, put different pictures, different videos, and different sounds. I'm just going to cancel this. But if you really have a brand, try to keep everything consistent. I don't think having, unless you're really getting 10 subs per stream or something, maybe add variations, but you're free to do whatever you want to do. That's good. Donations, okay, donations alert, the layout, you know all about that. Text to speech, which is my favorite type of text to speech features with donations. Minimum bits to read. This is important because people can abuse it easily if they donate like 1 bit and then type a long text. They get just 1 bit. 1 bit equals pretty much 1 cent. So you don't want that to be abused. My community is pretty calm, so they don't really abuse it. So I don't need to put a limit, but that's how you can put it. I would put it like to 100 bits. If you want to type a message, let's say 50 or 100 bits, and then you can type a message that will be read out loud on stream. Choose the voice. People have chosen stuff like Japanese to read English messages, and it just sounds funny. I don't like it because sometimes people type messages that they want to be heard by chat and the streamer and be comprehensible, but okay. Spam security, I put that off. So if someone wants to go doody for hours, they can. Don't do that on my stream. You're getting banned. And then the volume of the text to speech. Let me collapse that text to speech thing. Then minimum amount for alerts. So for the alert to show up, you can put up a minimum amount. Same thing. So people don't spam you with €1, even though I do it all the time. I spam people with €1, $1 donations. So you can put, hey, the alert is not going to show up unless you give a certain amount of donations of money. Message template, you've already seen this. On top of name, you will have amount between brackets. Mine is customized. Yours will not look like that. Yours will probably look name has donated and then amount in between brackets. So you can change that. Something I like to do is adding like multipliers of what I call multipliers. Like if someone, after the amount command, I like to put millions. You know, if someone donated $1, it's going to be a $1 million. Okay, text animation, you're already familiar. The image, the sound, you're already familiar. Sound volume, alert duration, text, same thing. And then donation gifts is a particular feature, just kind of advanced for people that have a subscription to Streamlabs, but that mostly never happens. But keep it enabled just in case. Okay, so you have a GIF library, GIF animation. You can, it's too much for me. I don't use it at all, and I don't really recommend using it because I haven't seen people actually use it. But you can look into it, read the Streamlabs forums to get more information on that. Donator message settings, of course, you can how it's gonna look, enabled, disabled, emotes, allow emotes, always allow emotes, and minimum amount to show. So this is different than just showing the minimum amount to show the alert. This is a minimum amount to show the text that comes with the alert. You can turn this off if you don't like, if you feel like your community can be very abusive with this. If they spam, I don't know, bad words. Well, first of all, you shouldn't have text to speech if you know your community is going to spam bad stuff, and you shouldn't have show message. But that's fine. You decide. Let's collab this, font settings, of course, and then you have alert variations. Just as we saw for subscription, you can add variations in how frequent you want them to kind of change. That's fine. And then you have hosts, same thing for the layouts. We don't need to go through all of this. Show auto host disabled. Auto hosts are something that is quite frequent even as a small streamer. So I would advise not to turning it on, but if you're so small that you get like, you don't really get a lot of hosts and you get mostly auto host and it's a couple per stream, you can enable it. Just know that it's auto host. So the person that just hosted you is not present, is not necessarily in your chat when it's happening. So there's no real reason to thank them out loud, but you decide what you want to do. I know it can help to have a couple alerts pop off while you're streaming, especially when you're alone and you're streaming alone for the first time. It's still good. Viewer minimum, if you have plenty of viewers and they don't have anyone in their channel and they just decide to host you to show some love, to show some support. And you don't want that this disrupting you. You can put a minimum viewer amount. That means if you put like 2 people, that will mean that only people that host you for actual viewers will have the alerts go off, not just random people clicking the host button or just hosting you from your chat. Text animation, you know what it is. Image, sound volume, font settings, alert variations. No need to go through this. You guys are all grown up now. And then bits alert, same thing. Text to speech. Remember the text to speech in donation, like look at that. Let me go back to the donation tab. So text to speech is only for donation, even though it says minimum bits to read. It's basically minimum dollars. Okay, minimum dollars. I think that's a typo. That's a typo. Oh, and I clicked the wrong thing now. We're gonna get through this. Let's go back to the bits tab. So yeah, so this is the minimum bits for the text to speech to go off. I don't have a minimum because my community is very respectful. But if yours is not the same, especially when you're just starting, I'd consider putting a limit, but not too much. It can tick people off to donate and not be able to have a text or something if they're trying to be nice, you know? So test the grounds and develop your community to have a good community, if that's what you want. And then you have minimum bits alert, so minimum bits to show the alerts. Message template, it will say, I don't even remember what it says, the original. It's amount of bits, it's name, and then, yeah, it's name and then the amount of bits. You change it. I have this just bit it because I had Michael Jackson beat it. And that's cringy when I think about it now, but whatever. Image, sound volume, alert duration, you know, all of that. Bits, message settings, show message, exactly like the donation. You can just play around with it and find what suits you the most. In alerts, you can see, oh, this one is actually quite important because you have alert presets already. So unlike the others, when you click on the alert variation, you will see that you already have those alert variations. So default 1 is what you will set up here, but you can still edit it for some reason. And then default 100. So those are your bits limits. That means up to 100 bits. If someone donates 100 bits, you want a different alerts between 100 bits and 1,000 bits, for example, or between 5,000 bits and 10,000 bits. You can actually create more. As you can see here, I have this 66 will.i.am, and this is I cannot show it to you because it says something horrible, but I cannot show it to you because it's not appropriate language. But basically, I've had it to have a specific alert. But basically, I've had it to have a specific alert for 66 bits. Okay, so that's the name, 66 will.i.am. Condition randomly, but not. Wait, the condition is random. See, for example, this is a good example of me messing up. Condition, we will put bits used exactly and amount. And now the amount, I will put frequency 66. Now, if someone donates exactly 66 bits, this alert will pop off. And then I have all of that, of course, no image. I don't like images on my bits. And then the music, everything is set up, and then I can save it. Just remember to save those settings because I didn't realize that I messed up like that. But for those, it's pretty much the same, except instead of having exactly 1 bit, you want at least 1 bit. So if you put at least 1 bit, that will mean that up to the second alert, which is 100 bits, that means anything in between 1 to 100, this particular alert will show up, which is this one. I don't remember what I have as a sound. If I click here, it's this one. So this is my default right here, and then I can have a different one here. See, default 100, bit at least 100. So anything underneath is it's not going to play. And then for the rest, you just decide to customize those. If you don't customize those alerts, it will just play the default alert. So if you're not ready to have, if you don't think anyone will ever donate, never think like that, by the way. Always set up that stuff, because when it happens and you hear that special bit donation, that special bit alert that you never heard before, you know that someone donated a huge amount of bits, and you can react properly. Raids. So the raid feature is a new one for Twitch. It's something where at the end of streams, people used to just raid people by hosting them and sending all their viewers there, usually typing like spamming chat with a raid message. But Twitch has made it so you can actually raid people straight from Twitch. At the end of your stream, you can type /raid and then the name of the user you want to raid, and people can click to join the raid, and it will automatically send them on, like the channel will automatically load their page and will send all the viewers on their stream. So it's kind of a better alternative, but you do need everyone to click on this little thing for the alert to properly show how many people are inside that raid. So I really advise setting it up, because people are raiding left and right now. And same things for the layouts. You already know. Name, count, it's all good. You know that. Alert variations. If you're getting rated a lot, you can add some variations. I don't think that's necessary. It would be cool to have some sort of message with the raid. Like you could /raid and then put a message or something. I don't know. And of course, don't forget to have your alerts links accordingly. If you have two things, that's a different link that will play both host alerts and bits alerts in your OBS. Okay, keep that in mind. On my original scene collection, I have each and every alert be separate in case I want to just turn one off, or if I want to change the size, or if I want to place it somewhere particular. If I want my follow alerts to go left and my bit alerts to go right, or something like that. I have everything separated, but you can have everything in just one go and just have just this one source. I have trouble speaking today. Okay, now second part of this tutorial is how to make sure that OBS is communicating with Streamlabs to make sure that your alerts actually pop up when you're streaming. And that is done by using a little program called Streamlabs. Streamlabs. You need to download it from the widget tab. Right here, click on Streamlabs, and you click on Windows if you're on Windows, in OS 6 if you're on OS 6. And once you download it, you can open it up right here. It will ask you to sign up with your Twitch account and then choose an output directory. If you don't know what the output directory is, put it on your desktop or something like that. You will need this in the future, because this is where all the info about your most recent subscriber, most recent followers and stuff like that, this is where the info will be. So this is what you will need to actually display it. I will not show you how to display it on this tutorial. I will make another tutorial about it. But just keep in mind, this is what you will need to be on during your stream to make sure that everything is going smoothly. Talking about your alerts, and you can even replay alerts if ever like you didn't hear it or there was a bug or something. I'm gonna try it out. Let me just turn down my TV volume. For example, if someone followed here, I'm gonna click that. What happened to the sound? Oh. So that's one of my follow alerts. Okay. Try to have this opened up with OBS during your whole stream. You do not want to have this off, because sometimes like your alerts will not go off if you don't have it. So keep it on in the background. And if you missed an alert, for example, if you're using just one screen and you're playing full screen, then you hear the alert, but by the time you come up to OBS, it already disappeared. You can just go up here and see the latest one and say, oh, Look, Orionator hosted me for 18 viewers. Use that, and if you're having any problems, you can just click here to click on restart session. So it will just super fast, really quickly, it will restart it, and you will have the latest information right here. Anyways, this is pretty much it, guys. If you have any suggestions and if there's anything you would like to see in particular on this channel, put it in the comment section below, and I read all the comments. I try to respond to every single comment. I will make way more tutorials about Twitch and how to become a live streamer. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Click the subscribe button. See you guys later. Get level out.